バクバクファクトリー。
おお、立った。
あれ食らって立つか普通。
丈夫だなあいつ。
Hello everyone and welcome back to Animaechan, where today I'm going to be sharing my reaction highlights of episode 87 and 88 of One Piece. So it'll work the same way that it always works. Intro, reaction highlights, review, which is me basically reading my notes to you, which you can also read by yourself. The link should be in the description. Okay, and then there's one other thing that I wanted to say. You'll be getting this video on Monday night. That's when I'm gonna post it. One day later than usual, but I've been really busy and I'll tell you why in a second. And on the Monday night, after I post this video, I will be watching episode 89, 90 and 91, and then I'll be posting those 3 full reactions to my Patreon. So all my level 2 and up patrons will get my full reactions to those 3 episodes tonight. The reason for this, because usually I watch it on a Tuesday and not a Monday, but I'm leaving for Cape Town tomorrow, which is Tuesday. I'll be leaving from Tuesday until Saturday. I thought about lengthening my trip maybe, but I don't think I will, because I already feel anxious leaving for 5 days and not being able to post any videos. So I don't think I'd be able to handle going away longer than that. So in those 5 days, I won't be able to edit my videos. I won't be able to watch any new videos. So let's quickly just check. I know this is going to be a long intro and I apologize. This is what my schedule looks like. Usually I watch One Piece on Tuesdays and Fridays. Instead of Tuesday, I'll be watching episode 89, 90 and 91 tomorrow, which is Monday. Today, for you, today, for me, yesterday. All you need to know is I'm posting 89, 90 and 91 full reactions on my Patreon, all level 2 plus patrons. Then I'm going away for 5 days. Then I'm coming back. Then I still need to edit 89, 90 and 91 and make notes and do the review and edit in the review and then upload it. That should be done by Tuesday or Wednesday, or like the 13th or the 14th of August. And then for patrons, my next 2 videos, episode 92 and 93, will be posted the 13th of August, that evening, Tuesday. Okay, so I know it's gonna be a little while with not a lot of videos. I hope you'll forgive me for that. But yeah, I'm going to Cape Town and I can't edit or record while I'm there because I have my reasons. I don't have to explain them. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me and enjoy the video. I hope that you'll stick around for the review at the end. If not, make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Either way, the interaction is good for the video. Can she fight or is she gonna run? Oh, his flag! Are they gonna fight? Yes! Oh, yes! Exactly like last time. Sent him flying. Oof. Oh, but now. He's gonna realize it now.
ゴム人間だからな。
Yes, he's just like you! A devil producer.
この国にもう俺たちに歯向かおうって生意気な輩はいなくなるわけだ。
I bare my teeth.
ヒルルクの墓にしたんだ。私は別にこんなボロい城に興味などなかったけどね。
ドクターはこの国を救うために戦ったあの旗を掲げて。
You know what I just felt? Like his inherited will, like his will to save the country was inherited by the next generation. And even though he worked so hard, and he kind of sucked at it, but he worked so hard to heal the country. And he'll never live to see the day that it is healed. But that's the importance of inherited will. Just because you might not change things in your lifetime by working so hard to see change, doesn't mean that it's okay to give up on facilitating that change, because you'll inspire the next generation, and even if they don't see it, they'll inspire the next generation, and that inherited will is what will end up changing countries, people, cultures, worlds for the better. Yo.
人はいつ死ぬと。不治の病に侵された時。
違う。
猛毒キノコのスープを飲んだ時。違う。忘れられた時さ。俺が消えても俺の夢は叶う。まったくいい人生だった。
あばよやぶ医者。
ドクターはこの城で死んだ。この国を救おうとして死んだ。ここはドクターの墓なんだ。
俺様の神聖な城を加水車の旗で汚しやがって。とっとと燃やしちまえ、あんな旗。
この城には入れない。絶対あの旗はドクターの信念だ。だから絶対に下ろさせないぞ。絶対に。
ばあさんも戦うのか。
ばあさん。お前らのことがいなかったら助けてやるよ。
そりゃどうも。
What is that?
Hey, Afroman.
Hey, Afroman. See, people don't get my concept of badass. This whole attitude, his hands in his pocket, kicking up the leg, that little catchphrase thing, hey, Afroman, like that to me, that is badass. Like, it's not Luffy climbing up, his fingernails peeling off in the cold. That to me is, there's no word for that. That is pure leadership, loyalty. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to me, that is unspeakably awe-inspiring. This is badass. Badass is like, it's a fun concept. People have gotten so praised in the comment section when I didn't give someone a badass point when they felt they deserved. Like, really, it's for fun. And I've mentioned in my notes before, but most of you don't listen to my reviews, but I've mentioned in last video's notes, I talked about this and explained it a little further. So before you come at me for who I'm giving badass points and why I'm not giving some people badass points and why Zoro has so many badass points, actually take the time to listen to my notes, you know, before you come for me. If you listen to me, if you take the time to listen to me, I'll take the time to listen to you.
Hey, Afroman. てめえレディーに向かってアフロ飛ばすとはどんなブラザーソウルだよ。
なんだこれね、なんだこのアフロは。静電気か。その通り。
使っていいわよ。お前のかっこ悪いじゃんか。かっこいいわよ。そうか。まあいいか。あったかくりゃ飛ばしてやる邪魔口め。
ま
Is he also a... Oh fuck. like before. Oh shit. Oh cool. Shoot him off that mountain. Oh, the poor thing. What is this factory bullshit? Is he gonna shoot them from his mouth? Sometimes you need to give someone a good punch. Mufti has taken hits far worse than that. That's such a cool image. A pirate. A symbol of conviction. He used the same word. It's like there's some kind of pirate code.
て砕けるんだ。
Youch.
びっくり回りもクワトロアックス。
おいおい、城壁がえぐられたぞ。
あと雪だぜ。
Whoa! Whoa! Big, small. He'll tire you out. And then, bah. No!
お前の弱点を見てたんだ。
何？
これで終わりさ。ストップ。
Ooh!
ビームが。
出るかアホ。
Bimu! Da Bimu! 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 Right between its two heads? Oh no, okay. On the chin. Okay. Wapol! Someone keep an eye on Wapol! Sakura. It was Italian for Sakura. But Wapol. They helped him.
やっぱり山に登りましょう。あの大雪崩でルフィさんやナミさんたちがどうなったか心配よ。
ナミが心配。その上ドルトンさんも心配でアラバスタも心配か。お前は何もかも背負いすぎだ。ナミにはルフィやサンジがついてる。なんとかやってるさ。
そうよね。ウソップさんは仲間を信じている。ありがとう、ウソップさん。私
海は山登るのが。
おめえ、雪男だろ。大丈夫。ルフィならなんとかするぞ。
ドルトンさん。
Scary things scare me.
そこを解け。ワポルを城に入れてはならん。絶対に。
まさか城に向かうつもりなの？
その体で。
ワポルが国王に戻ってしまえば永遠にこの国は腐ってしまうぞ。どんな卑劣な手を使おうとも。
俺が連れてってやる。城へ。遠慮なんかいらねえ。今城へ連れて行く。
ウソップさん。
おい、ウソップ君、やはり
無理じゃねえ。連れて行く。
Oh, Usopp.
に戦うんだろう。絶対に連れて行く。
あるんだ、一本。誰かが白いロープを張り直してる。ギャスタの外れの大木から城へ。
ギャスター。
おい、ルフィ。
Could someone not have told them about this rope earlier?
いいね。
ドイツが。
ブリキ野郎だよ。
It says here, Bluck, the damned Bluck guy, he disappeared. Bluck is Dutch for steel plate. It's also Afrikaans. Because Afrikaans, which is my first language, is like a derivative language from Dutch.
一体いつの
A hairy hippo?
認めてる間にだろう。
やろうね。
まさかどっかから城の中へ。
Nami!
そしたらナミさんが。あのカバンナミさんに手出したら。
He crawled. He crawled.
ドクトリーヌ、あいつ俺のこと。
He's nakama. Oh. Mm.
どういうことだこいつは一体。許 許さんぞ奴らめ。一人残らず噛み砕いてやる。
No. There was something I wanted to say during the episode and I forgot. Why? Because I didn't pause. That's why I pause. Otherwise I forget the things I want to say. Chopper is the cutest thing ever. I agree. I have never... Chopper is cuter than Pikachu. Tenfold. Easy. No doubt. Maybe a little doubt, but not much. Okay, episode 87. Against Wapol's army corps. The abilities of the Baku Baku no Mi. So this is quite an interesting expression from Luffy. I've noticed that sometimes he laughs like this. She. But only during certain times. Sometimes he laughs more like normally. I'm not sure how to explain that, but I remember a part later in the anime. I remember a part later in the episode, episode 88, where he laughed differently. Like he just laughs really boisterously. And I just wondered, she, is that more like a giggle? I just thought it was interesting to take note that he has different laughs, whereas most other characters, they have a very specific laugh. Yeah, I think I just found that interesting. This scene where Sanji tells Chopper that Luffy is also a monster, I just really love that he said that. I love that expression. I love the way he said it. I love that. Yeah, I just loved that scene. It made me so happy when Sanji called Luffy a monster. So Chopper realizes, and I think Sanji said that without even knowing what it meant to Chopper. So Chopper can realize that when they referred to him as a monster before, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I hope this will help Chopper to own his power and his differences. That what makes him different. Because that is literally what makes him great. I loved it when Chopper used the decoy plan just like Hiluluk did in a previous episode or flashback. Also, Sanji during the scene was hilarious. I just had a weird thought. Luffy is like a little kid. Like the way that he acts with like him going bleh and stuff like that. Sanji is like a rebellious teenager and Zoro is like a grumpy old man. I'm joking, he's not really a grumpy old man, but in my opinion, he is the most mature of the guys. I'm not sure, but where does that leave Usopp? I think Usopp is kind of a little kid like Luffy, but they're all perfect just the way they are. I love this moment when Sanji told Luffy to grab his leg when Luffy just got there from, he went to go get a coat. And Luffy trusted him 100%. And he just did what he said. Like, Sanji was like, grab my leg. And he was like, okay. And he grabbed it and he launched himself. He didn't even know what was going on. But then Sanji launched him at Wapol to save Chopper from being eaten. It's just awesome to see this level of trust between them. Chessmarimo. I read in an SBS, a lot of people, mothers actually, complained about this in the manga. Obviously, it was mothers of the children who read One Piece. They said that the book was printed wrong, but in fact, Oda drew it like this on purpose. So in the manga, I saw the picture of, he drew the text double so that it represents these two talking together. But apparently a lot of people wrote in or called in to complain, and he just said like, it was supposed to be that way. And even in the SBS, I think it said in like in these little things, brackets, totally unapologetic or something like that. For those of you that don't know yet, I did mention it in a previous reviewer discussion, but I have a Google document for my favorite SBS questions and answers. You can read them by clicking here. So it'll just take you to a little document. I do read the SBS as I go along. And yeah, there's just some really good questions. Some of them are really funny and some of them are like interesting. So this one is, for example, Oda Sensei, since Luffy is a Gomu human, does that mean his penis can stretch too? And then he just replies, his penis can stretch too. And then I spit out my drink. Does Sanji like to say shit? He loves to say shit. In Monkey D. Luffy, what does the D stand for? Is it Donburi, a bowl? Or maybe Daibutsu, giant Buddha statue? Or maybe, I'm really curious, please tell me. I've gotten a ridiculous number of these letters, so many, but I cannot answer that question. I can't answer it yet. please just read it as D and don't think too deeply into it for now. So yeah, I just really like there's a lot of interesting facts and stuff. Rule number 1 of the Drum Kingdom: those who disobey the king die. This made me think of a certain very strong character in Dr. Stone. So if you don't watch Dr. Stone, just skip ahead for like 20 seconds. I'm just going to show you which character it made me think of. So it made me think of Tsukasa from Dr. Stone. Those who disobey the king die. It just made me think of Tsukasa and his approach to creating his own world, the way that Wapol establishes the rule of his kingdom. About the scene where Chopper was going to hit Wapol, but then he thinks of Hiluluk saying, "Don't hate humans, the king has a sickness in his heart," and he ends up not punching him. So Wapol uses that moment of doubt to blast Chopper with his cannon. That pretty much sums up my frustration with villain characters. Like, they're bad and they've done like horrible things, but no human is irredeemable. That's something that One Piece has actually taught me recently. Even though there are certain people who seem to be, but the moment you have come to hate someone so much that you think that they should be killed, your thoughts are becoming pretty villainous themselves, whether we want them to be or not. But I have to admit, it is very difficult to deal with a person/villain like this, because the moment you do show them mercy, that alone will not change them. Like how Wapol used Chopper's hesitation, his moment of, should I show these people mercy the way that Hiluluk, didn't hate them? Do I need to? And then he used that moment and shot him. He would have killed him if Chopper wasn't stronger. That's why I said in the reaction, sometimes you just need to give someone a good punch. This is only in an anime though, where sometimes you need to fight a villain and beat them for them to begin the process of self-reflection and hopefully change into a better person. In real life, I don't think violence solves anything, to be honest. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I often get frustrated because even though I understand that each villain is just a good person that was probably hurt in some way in the past and that resulted in a sickness in their hearts, how do you cure that sickness like Hiluluk wanted to after they've already done horrible things like killing people as a result of it? Once again, this makes me think of the character from Dr. Stone that I mentioned earlier. Clearly, he was hurt in his past, and that resulted in the person he is today. I'm still on episode 5 of the anime, so that's when I say today, I refer to everything I've seen up to episode 5 of the anime. But there's no doubt in my mind that what he went through does not excuse the fact that he murdered people. He has become a worse villain than the person who hurt him in the first place. As much as I can sympathize with his past, that does not make what he's doing right now okay. And although I think somewhere in my heart, although it's not always easy to really believe, any person can be redeemed. Any person, like Hiluluk said it. If a person like him can be saved, then anyone can be saved. And now that I think about it, yes, One Piece did drive that belief into me even more, but it actually started with the manga that I referred to in the last video and notes, called Akuma to Love Song. And even though it's a very it seems like a very basic shoujo girly type of story in the beginning, it goes really deep, and something in it happens that where this thing in me started to think like maybe even the worst scum of the earth can be redeemed. Maybe somehow. And then I saw this whole story of Hiluluk and his words and his speech and everything, and then it made me just, it's so interesting how these two totally random, they're nothing alike stories, but now somehow they intertwine. Even with the song Ave Maria, it intertwines. It, to me, I'm wondering like, what kind of coincidence is that these two stories have this similar song, these similar themes in this current, this was written 20 years ago. that manga is also pretty old. They were probably not written at the same time, but I read them and watched this around about the same time. What kind of coincidence is that? Is that a coincidence or is it fate? That I, like, you know, there's this quote that says, like, a coincidence is the universe's way of telling you you're going in the right direction. And that makes me feel like, wow. Because what are the chances? Okay, but anyway, as much as I can sympathize with his past, I'm referring to the person in Dr. Stone, but I also with Wapol, because probably he also has a past. 9 out of 10 villains have a pretty shitty past. That does not make what they're doing right now okay. And although I think somewhere in my heart, any person can be redeemed, how do you deal with them before they've changed? Does that make sense? Like, while they're still being villainous, killing people, what do you do then? How do you deal with them, you know? Like, Chopper didn't want to punch him because Hiluluk said, don't hate humans. The king has a sickness in his heart. But it's not like Wapol is going to listen to reason and become a better king just by talking it out at this point. Yes, a villain is just a victim whose story hasn't been told. But is a victim who becomes a villain still a victim? At some point after, I don't know, killing people for disagreeing with you, don't you forfeit your victim status and become just a villain? Like I said before, being a villain doesn't mean you are pure evil. You know, you're not a demon. We're not demons. People, like, there's a scale. You're not either good or evil. There's a fucking scale. I don't even think a human can be 100% good or 100% bad. We're somewhere along that scale. But being hurt or having a sick heart does not make it okay to hurt others. Otherwise, the cycle will just continue and get worse and worse. Like, it's a cycle, but it doesn't just go in circles. It goes down. It spirals down. That's the problem. So, how does one deal with a villain then? Episode 88, the one type Devil's Fruit, Chopper's 7-level transformation. Before I forget, I need to give Sanji 2 badass points for the hey Afroman scene and 5 points for Luffy for this whole scene. The skull and crossbones is a symbol of conviction. So yeah, Sanji got 2 for that whole Afroman scene. His whole attitude there was awesome. And then Luffy here for all of that. The skull and crossbones is a symbol of conviction. That is a really powerful quote, and it has more of an impact because this is what Hiluluk said also to Chopper. I'm glad the issue 20 had a chance to kind of like show their humanity. They submitted to Wapol only because they wanted to further their research. I mean, if they didn't, they would have been chased off the island, forced to become immigrants, or worse, killed. I'm glad they ended up saving Dalton though. I'm curious, those two called Chopper a reindeer man, but then Chopper said, I'm a human reindeer. Does that mean he puts being a human ahead of being a reindeer? Or was the translation a bit off, or what exactly do you think he meant there? Important note. So, the Zoan fruits are known for giving a person 3 levels of transformation. So there's your original form, your half form, and then your beast full form, I think. Cause later someone, I think John T, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, is a patron. He sent me a picture of, cause I was curious about what is Dalton's 3 forms, and then he sent me a picture of Dalton the human, Dalton the half bison, and then Dalton the bison. And then we talked about what's a Chopper doesn't have a full human form, like how Dalton has a full beast form, but Chopper doesn't become fully human. So then we just kind of said maybe it's like part of our evolution, you know, back in the day when we were monkeys and shit. I don't know, I'm joking, I don't know if that's true, but maybe we had more hair on our bodies at some point. So maybe animals, like, they can gain devil fruit powers, but there should be some limit somewhere. And I guess that Chopper becoming full human in his third form, that's kind of, maybe that wasn't possible. I don't know. Anyway, so Chopper somehow made a kind of serum or that little ball thing that gave him a total of 7 levels of transformation. So his original form, his half human form, and his human form, and then there's 4 extra. One of them is the little ball, and the rest of them went so fast I didn't always see. I think this is important because it shows us it's not impossible to somehow alter the power that a devil fruit can give you. And then just Chopper is the most adorable thing ever. At 10:24, so while I was editing still, so these times won't be right in the video because I edit my intro in, so these times would have changed, but but what's important is just this. At 10:24, Chopper breaks the rumble ball. He says it will last 3 minutes. The fight lasts until 16:44, so more or less 6 minutes. This must mean 1 minute in the One Piece world equals 2 minutes in our world. I'm kidding, obviously. It was just a funny, because I always laugh when in anime they say this will just take 1 minute and then 10 minutes later they're still fighting or something like that. Okay. Usopp trying to carry Dalton up the mountain, or well, out of the town first, is absolutely precious. That was really, like, it was nice to see Usopp, who was just scared to go up the mountain, kind of be inspired by someone else's bravery in the same way that he was inspired by the giants' bravery and chivalry, or not chivalry, warriorness, you know? And the exchanges between Zoro and Usopp in this episode are hilarious. I love them. But also the exchanges between Sanji and Luffy were hilarious. So I love it when the characters get these duo moments and they play off each other, and it's just so funny, especially considering like some of them are funnier together. Like Zoro and Sanji have their kind of thing going on, their competition, their kind of rivalry. Usopp and Zoro have a different kind of chemistry. Luffy and Sanji have a different kind of chemistry. It's really, really fun to see these character interactions, and there are scenes that I just want to replay over and over again. So this was just funny. Usopp punch. That was just cute the way he walked away, and Zoro was just like, wait, Usopp said, I was just about to release my full power, and Zoro was like, yeah, I knew you were. It was just such a nice moment. Anyway, the last thing I want to say for now, Chopper is cuter than Pikachu. But actually it's not the last thing because there are still a few unanswered questions. I've started saving these so that it's easier for me to look back and see things that I was wondering during the time that I was watching. Okay, so I'm curious. I'm curious about what Afroman's power is from. It doesn't seem like a devil fruit power, and since Miss Golden Week used a form of hypnotism, I wonder what kind of power this could be and if it's important or not. So it's just interesting for me that there are different sources of power in One Piece. Like it's not just devil fruit powers, and I'm curious about all the different kinds of powers in that world. Chessmarimo called Chopper a power fighter just like Dalton. What exactly does that mean? Is it a type of the one fruit power, like you get a power fighter or a speed fighter or a, I don't know what kind of fighter? Are there maybe other types? Or does it just mean all the one types give you a power fighter power, just in different forms? Okay, so by different forms I mean Dalton is a bison and he's strong and powerful, and Chopper's form is human and he's very strong. So I'm just thinking, like, if there were other Zoan fruits, let's say there is a giraffe Zoan fruit, first animal that pops into my mind, but I did watch Tokyo Ghoul earlier and Juzo was drawing a giraffe, so maybe that's why. Anyway, so would it also be automatically a power type? Or would there be like, if a Zoan fruit turns you into a cheetah, would you then be a speed type? or do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is there only power types of the one fruit, or do we have different types? Like, I was curious. Okay, and then the last question was just, what is Dalton's third form? And Jonty was actually reading my notes while I was typing them, I guess, and he messaged me in my Discord, on my Discord server, which is for patrons, and he told me, or he showed me this picture. So it's just his three forms. So human, half beast, beast. Okay, so that's it from my side. I am going to go to sleep now. I'm super tired. I got up this morning at, well, I was woken up at 8. And then my kitten was like, I want food. And I was like, no, just 30 minutes, please. And she was like, no. So I woke up around there, maybe 8:30ish. And it's now 30 minutes past midnight-ish, 24 minutes past midnight. So I'm tired, I'm not gonna lie. But I got a lot of stuff done today. I posted a lot of extra videos because I felt bad for leaving for 5 days. So I wanted to make sure that my patrons have a lot to catch up with. I think I posted the end of Drifters today, Tokyo Ghoul. There's one that I didn't get to, and I hope I can get to it tomorrow. And then I spent most of today editing the notes for this review. And now tomorrow, all I need to do when I wake up is put it into the video, chop it up a little bit, parts where I stumbled, to just take that out, and export it, upload it, and then here you are currently watching it. How awesome is that process? Yes, it is. Well, I had a lot of fun chatting with you guys. I can't wait to read all the comments. I might be going away tomorrow, but I still will read as many comments as I can. We'll try not to go to the comment section for at least the first couple of hours. Big thank you once again to all my mods, because I have not been spoiled even once. You guys have been on it. So thank you so much. I wish there was something I could do for you. I should just put your names up here. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next video, which will be around the 13th, or let's make it the 14th of August, just to be safe, because I do need time to edit all 3 videos. So I'll show you once again. I'm watching this tomorrow. I'm watching this tonight, Monday night, episode 89, 90, and 91. Then when I get back, I'll need 3 days to edit it. 1, 2, 3. And then the review and uploading. So let's just make it the 14th to be safe, because there would be other things I need to catch up with as well after 5 days of not being here. So let's just 14th of August. I will see you all then. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.